Alright, quick little breakdown of the Patchy Mix and Magomed Magomedov fight. For those of you who don't know either of these gentlemen, this man has beaten Piotr Jan, rematched him and lost, and then his only other loss was to Rafael Stotts. So he's 19-2 coming into this, and Patchy Mix, his only loss is to Juan Archuleta, the former bantamweight champion, and him and James Gallagher had a really cool grappling fight. But in this fight, I just want to break down the exchanges where Magomed Magomedov is shooting a takedown and Patchy Mix threatens with this guillotine, which is just stupid. He can hit it from either side. He's so versatile with the guillotine, and I just want to take a look at some of the examples. And it's not like Magomed Magomedov is shooting horrible shots here where he's just diving right into guillotines, but it's just Patchy Mix's ability to be in that position and be confident. So Patchy Mix was doing a good job of keeping it at range. He's a pretty big bantamweight. When he fought Kyoji Horiguchi, he made Kyoji Horiguchi look like a dwarf. Like, he dwarfed him. Here he throws the front kick out of southpaw, gets caught by Magomed, and there he puts his head to the outside. So that is guillotine territory, and Patchy Mix jumps right on it. So when he jumps on it, Magomed does a really good job of trying to straighten his head out and bring him the other way. And watch, he gets his head out of that guillotine on the left side, and then Patchy Mix just goes it to the other side. He will live and die by this guillotine position. So he gets it with the arm in this time. It looks like Magomed will be able to eventually pass that right knee of Patchy, but this is what Patchy does so well, is he threatens with the guillotine, and if the guillotine isn't there, then he can use it to sweep. He uses the butterfly hook to elevate Magomedov over and look to get on top, switches his hips, and then he sits back. So he not only uses it to get on top, but he can also use it to readjust. So you see he'll get a little higher and try to sit a little tighter on the guillotine, pull back. That, I'm sure, is a little bit tighter than it was before if he's trusting it. But you see that Magomedov's head isn't fully like hidden by Patchy Mix's arm. Like, if this is too much real estate, Patchy would want to be with this arm right over the top, right? So Magomed is close to getting out, but that hand does look like it's under the chin, and it's obviously not comfortable in there for Magomedov. But again, Patchy's going to look to adjust. Like, here it's starting to get really, really loose. You can see it's almost slipping off, but he sits up, gets it a little bit tighter. He sits up closer to Magomedov's right leg. Magomedov is standing on both of his feet right now, I'm pretty sure, unless that right knee is down. No, it wasn't. So he scoops it, and then he can roll him over backwards and get on top, or adjust it. Like, he can either get on top and abandon the guillotine and just be in top position, but he loves the guillotine so much. So he's just gonna stick with it and readjust like he did last time. But now Magomedov is starting to clear. Patchy abandons the grip, the arm and guillotine grip here. You see him abandon it, and now he's just in top position. So he makes your successful takedown into his offense, and that's what he's very, very good at. And then we get here still in the first round. Later in the first round, Patchy Mix throws a jab, and Magomed does a good job of slipping on the inside, throwing the right hand to the body and turning it into a takedown. Again, the head's on the outside there, so Patchy threatens it, but then Magomed brings his head to the middle, and Patchy just uses it to sprawl. Like, it's always a threat. Like, before he even thinks about digging maybe an underhook, he goes arm and guillotine threat. Like, he is so live or die by this guillotine, and when it's as good as his, you can't really blame him. Patchy was throwing these like inside leg kicks. He throws them really weird, where he does not rotate at all, and he throws like, he doesn't turn over and try to hit with like the outside of the shin. He kind of just like touches it. I don't even know how to compare it. You can see though, his foot is like pointing upwards right here. It's not turned over facing that way. So Magomed catches the kick, head right to the belly. His head goes slightly to that side, sees that Patchy might be starting to threaten it, So Magomed brings his head to the other side, and that is like a perfect takedown by Magomed. But as they land, Magomed's head dips a little bit too far onto a side. So what does Patchy do? Arm in guillotine threat. Again, when you don't have full guard, you can get into stuff like this. Like when you have this leg in here, you can get into the sweeps that Patchy is so good at. He extends the leg, uses it to get on top, like I said, and you can finish it from the top, obviously, but watch him push Magomed's knee here to slide over. Try to slide over, but Magomed gets it back. He abandoned the grip that he had, so now he's got to get back on it. There's just constant readjustments. He's not going to overcommit on the guillotine if it's not exactly where he wants it. So now he abandons the arm in guillotine and starts to threaten this sort of punch guillotine. And that, look at his Patchy's, what is that arm? His right arm. That is under the chin pretty well. So now it's just a matter of Patchy finding the right grip. So he's pushing there. I'm sure that is very tight. That neck is in a very compromised position, obviously. So that is not good. And he has this leg completely trapped. Like that leg is not going anywhere. So it's going to be hard for Magomed to work any passing. But you see Magomed's right arm kind of just there. I'm not sure it's doing anything, but watch when Patchy lets go of the grip. Magomed is kind of sinking his weight backwards. Like his weight is up right here. He's on his toes. And then watch him sink back. And I think that makes it just a little bit tighter. And then Patchy adjusts the grip even tighter, pushing on that hand. I can't really do it without having someone in a guillotine, but he's pushing on that hand, and that's just so much pressure on the carotid artery here, and it doesn't take long. Again, that leg just completely locked down. Patchy knows, like Patchy's already looking at the referee because he knows how tight he has this. And he feels him go unconscious. He's out. And indeed, he was. And he becomes the first man to finish Magomed Magomedov. And it's just that threat of a guillotine can be so scary for guys, obviously wrestlers. But Magomed Magomedov is kind of all-around guy. He mixes in the takedowns when he, I'm sure when he catches a kick, the instinct will be to just shoot. Like that's just the instinct, because when you have the leg, okay, there's a single leg right in front of you, or a double leg, whatever you want to transition to, you just go. But when you have a guillotine like Patchy Mix does, he's got one arm guillotine, he's got the punch guillotine, and he's got sweeps. Like he always gets the arm in guillotine, sorry. Not the one arm guillotine, the arm in guillotine. He always gets it when he has the butterfly hook on the one side, so he can work the sweeping to get on top, readjusting. And he's constantly readjusting that guillotine grip. If he feels like it's not perfect, he's not going to squeeze all his energy to try to get it. He's going to readjust, like I said, sweep to get on top. If it's not there, you stay on top. If it is, then you can adjust it, see if it is there. And he adjusted it 4 different times in this finishing sequence. And yeah, that was just super clean. Wanted to break it down. The women's flyweight title fight is happening right now, so just wanted to get it quickly out there before the main event, which I'll do a breakdown on as well, as long as it doesn't go like 5 rounds and be boring as hell. Alright, if you made it to the end, thank you for watching, and peace.